Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reacts, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named Eli F titled Set Me Free. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves a track on the screen here on Spotify, get that art up on there. Apparently Eli F is an artist who turns Bible verses into piano house bangers. So, as per the art, it's looking good. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Apparently this one was inspired by John 15, 18, 19, so let's go, let's do it.
You'll set me free.
Fair use of both repeaters with keys there. Good form.
I know that they hated you before they hated me. Oh, your pain and suffering is what will set me free. I know that they hated you before they hated me. Oh, your pain and suffering is what will set me free.
Play transfer there.
Suffering is what will set me free. I know that they hated you before they hated me. Oh, your pain and suffering is what will set me free.
Good adjustment here with that simply. Oh, that bass, man. Nice.
Mercy, mercy, rain down on me. Rain down on darkness. I place it on thee, Lord, forever and ever. Never changes. You're beyond time.
Iteration on motif, that's nice. Cool. Alright, I can get behind that. That was Eli F with their track Set Me Free, and we're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Eli F titled Set Me Free. In this section, I'm going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally, my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think this track, well, again, it's based on like Bible verses. A lot of Eli F's music is based on Bible verses, but it's more about when they talk about placing their darkness on the Lord there, the Lord kind of taking them and helping them kind of cope with what they're going through and the difficulties that they're suffering, and just trying to sort of like be set free of what's sort of holding them down and what's sort of like what they're going through. I think that's kind of what we're going with here. Hopefully I haven't misconstrued or misunderstood it. I think that with this kind of music, that sort of like messaging makes total sense. It's uplifting, it's bouncy, it's electronic, it's exciting. So I understand what we're trying to accomplish here and how they connect. I thought the vocals were nice. I thought that the vocals were quite well handled. Eli's got quite a palatable vocal range, very comfortable in the head and chest voice. They navigate those notes quite neatly, harmonize well with the surrounding elements there. Lots of little variations and adjustments of the flow, you know, with some nice sort of like runs and some more sort of like belts and stuff like that. And we present enough different ways of communicating these lines, and with repetition of certain key hooks and melodies, to be able to get us through the 2 minutes 49 rather effortlessly, because it is quite a well fleshed out track at 2:49. It's right within that 2 to 4 minute sweet spot, where if it's less than 2 minutes you might be missing some important context, and if it's over 4 minutes then it's maybe just a little bit too long and some stuff might be overplayed. The track begins with "You'll Set Me Free," you know, the hook line after those kind of vocal chops there, and it's just immediately into it. You know, there's absolutely no filler. We're getting right into that 120 vibe. We've got those crispy sounding snares working those 16th notes pushing forward, and they're quite nice to listen to alongside the keys there, quite fragrant with those fifths or triads in the mid to upper range. I do also dig the fact that we kind of mess around with some of the snare flow, should I say. We mess around with that and include some 30 seconds to kind of adjust the speed and pace of that for a bit of drama or suspense as we build. And I like that we play with expectations as well. We kind of build up to something and then we come back down again. There's that little thump of the bass there, there's that kick there, and things just kind of hang there as we take in that additional bit of information from the vocals. It's quite a seamless transfer to that first drop that's around the 35-40 second mark there. Some of the highlights for me personally are that really sort of fantastically funky sounding bass line with the slap hammer-ons and pull-offs that we hear. That's quite neat. I like the fact that the bass in general navigates seamlessly between the different root notes that we have placed throughout the piece, as well as the octaves there. It's not sort of beholden just simply to playing the core root notes. And you have those keys pepper and decorate and sort of like make the track sound very sort of bright and dazzling, and other elements as well there. There's a nice balance between the lows and mid-highs. You have great automation of the volume of some of those snare builds as well, the way they kind of rise out of the ether, such as 1 minute 10. I think that's kind of cool. And that kind of break that you have there with that alt lead at about the 130 mark there, where it almost sounds like a kind of a kazoo or something like that. It's got a real kind of fuzzy tone to it in the center of the stereo field. It's just a fun sort of alt lead to Eli F's vocals. And that kind of almost like a saxophone, isn't it, in a sense? The way that kind of plays over top of the drop as it continues through 150 is just a great sort of bit of compositional development at that point. And I like the plucks that we have as well, how they go alongside a similar position purpose to the keys, but like as more of a note rather than the chord. And they kind of decorate some of the notes of those key progressions within the chords and stuff like that. It's just that they know not to be too literal with the roots. They add extra value and harmonize and make it sound a bit bigger than it might be otherwise. But yeah, no, we finished with the full frequency spectrum expanded and explored with those repeaters and delays at the end, with the track itself being quite lush with the way the effects processing is handled throughout, and ultimately it's just very satisfying. And I just like the fact that you've got with the drums playing a mixture of different quarters, 8th and 16th grooves across the snares, hi-hats, kicks, etc. It's just really cool to have some of those other instruments on the on beats and syncopated mess around with those as well, and just have like a nice kind of dancing around it. It feels like a full track because not just doing 4 to the floor the entire time, you know. But yeah, I feel like there's enough range there in terms of the way the track is presented to be interesting the entire way through. And thematically, the track is minor oriented. It's in the minor key, but it's almost like it's minor just to show the bit of the darkness that we're talking about, not committing too heavily to making the listener feel sad. A lot of the brightness of the instrumental layers within this track prevent you from really feeling the full force of the minor. It's just that the minor key is just a bit more cool sounding. I feel like if it was major, it might sound a little bit kind of cheesy sounding, you know. So I feel like they made the correct choice in terms of the notes here. I think as well, having the triads instead of extensions here kind of removes the need for maybe some sort of articulation of extended sort of like nuance emotionally. We're just trying to make a catchy club banger, and that's I think that's effectively what we did here. The studio recording, mixing and mastering though is quite good. I like the way that the vocals are presented with the mixture of different sort of like compression, EQ, reverb tails on it. The way that kind of placed in the mix is nice with the different sort of like representations of it. The old synth leads, like the saxophone as well that we have with the kazoo sound in midsection's nice. Good side chaining of the kicks, bass is well handled. Keys well presented on the sides, as well as those little kind of plucks that we have at other parts as well. No, you can hear everything quite cleanly in the mix. You know, it's not not too compressed, but it's got a bit of push to it. Nice and loud bass compression. Limiting is handled. No applicable constructive critique for me. I feel like it's a good first impression to Eli F's work. And then finally, from a general listener's perspective, I think it's kind of a cool idea, converting again these verses into songs. It's always kind of interesting to me how people approach music and try and create their own sort of like brands, and I wish everyone involved the best of luck in future. Because thank you for watching my review of this track from Eli F, titled Set Me Free, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need to help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.